Hi, this is Katie Scott and I'm here with another album share. So I just made a video showing you my December daily for 2009 and I will have a bunch of album shares this month. I like just looking back at December's past. Most of the blogging and video blogging that I'm doing this month, however, are process videos for actually making the December daily pages in my 2013 December daily album, which looks a little bit like that. Okay, so let me show you this thing that I got. Like before I was really into the modern form of scrapbooking, I have really been scrapbooking, I want to say, like my entire life. I've always recorded things, I've always written things down, I've always been really into pictures, I've always saved stuff, like papers and that sort of thing. And so long before I knew about modern scrapbooking, I used to do my scrapbooking in just the old style, and this doesn't have magnetic pages in it anymore, but I used to make scrapbooks in magnetic albums. But this was something that I saw in a catalog, and I was like, oh, I have to get that. And so it's embroidered, it's not embroidered, embossed, whatever you call that, with the Scott family on the front. And I remember buying this, and I think it was like $35, so it felt like a lot of money. I bought it back in 1998 or 1999 when my husband and I got married, and it felt like, oh, so extravagant. But it's just a paper album. It's called the Christmas Memories Book. It's not very, so it's about the thickness of one finger. It's very small, and it really reminds me of now of the journals that you see that are, I'm just trying to see when this was made, and I'm not really sure like what the, okay, the copyright is 1978. It's from Mystic Seaport, which I visited there when I was little. But this is just like the cleverest album because it just has a couple of pages for each year. And you see those albums nowadays that are like the 5-year gratitude journal or something like that. This is a lot like that, but for Christmas. So this is our Christmas Memories book. And this is a photo of me, and it's a photo, it's an original photo, but it's a print of, so I have either scanned the original or I took a photo of the old photo and then printed it out and used the reprint. And I'll tell you what, the reprint is so much better than the original on this photo because I could brighten it up, and so I can see like my little pigtails, and I can also see like the Tinker toys and the actual, you know, play school blocks. I can see the, it looks like I printed this, like the mirror image of it. So I want to say this was probably a slide because everything is spelled backwards. Books with records, my Henry dog, and anyways, I was able to do a lot with the photo I used Google's Picasa to edit photos and to make photo collages, but I was able to lighten that up a lot and get a lot of the details. And I remember I had one photo from a Christmas past, and I lightened it up, and there was my grandmother, which you never would have seen in the original photo if you just looked at it. But when I lightened it up, like, she magically appeared. It was really interesting. So, the 20-year Christmas Memories book. Christmas is a time to be remembered, blah, 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 blah. So, each Christmas becomes its own chapter as you write the current year into the title, Christmas the Year of Blank. For every Christmas, there are 5 full-page sections by subject so that you and your family can note the various holiday happenings. A well-known Christmas tradition is illustrated and explained atop the first page of each year. Many of these traditions are part of the 19th century Christmas celebrations at Mystic Seaport. And so these are the Christmas Memories book of the Scott family. So we start in the year that we were married. So we were married actually in 1999. So I start with the Christmas of 1998. And look at me. There we are. Oh. So we got married on January 3rd, and so we, Charlie and I were engaged in October, and we set our wedding date for January 3rd. So much of Christmas was spent in preparation of our upcoming wedding, which was at our home. And so I didn't write, it doesn't look like I wrote about it, but on Christmas Day that year, I drug the Christmas tree out to the curb. So I was like, we have to get everything in order. I wrote everybody who was there, and so all of our wedding guests, and that's cool because a lot of those people are no longer with us. There's our first dog, Duke. We had a real tree that year, and I decorated the tree because we didn't have much money. I decorated the tree with pine cones and seashells that I spray painted gold and silver, and I made all of the decorations on that tree, and it also smelled a little funky because a lot of the seashells like retained some of their smell. And there we are. So that was our first Christmas in our home, just days before our wedding. How exciting. Okay, then Christmas 1999, and some of the years I have photos for, and other years I don't. It's like I had one photo that year. I'm not sure if that one goes with this or not. I'll have to oh, that's when our little dog Dandy was just a puppy. We lost Dandy this past year, so I miss him. I'm hoping to see a puppy under the tree this year, and so here's my husband working on ripping out the kitchen and installing a new kitchen. Looks like December in the year 2000. This was before kids. That was a memorable Christmas card from my sister-in-law because we had 2 dogs, and yeah, they did that a lot actually. Anyways, this is a picture of us at the office, and no, I'm not pregnant. I'm looking to see if I'm pregnant in that one or not. I'm pregnant in 2001, that Christmas, and so there's no baby yet, but the baby's coming soon, and I was as big as a house. And so I just, it's just photos and words, and there's very little embellishment. So here's Christmas 2002, and there's the baby. There's my little Mac. Look at him. Oh. And so he was, I think, 10 months old on his first Christmas. And look, there was no journaling. I should go back and add photos at least. But I think I was just very busy being a mom, and so I didn't get to write a lot down. That's a regret. So not getting enough things scrapbooked, okay, but those aren't huge regrets because I can always go back and make scrapbook pages. And not only that, in 2002, my scrapbooking skills weren't all that good, but not writing the things down, I wish I did that. I wish I just took a little bit of time just to fill out those pages. And it's quite possible sometimes I look for this book and I'm like, where is it? So I try to keep it with the Christmas decorations. And in 2003, we had our baby girl, and she was 1 month old. So we had our kids very close together. So again, very little journaling because I am so insanely busy as a mom. And so it looks like I did start journaling again in 2004. And that was the year that we put all of the Christmas presents in a playpen to keep them away from the dogs and the kids. And this was the craziest Christmas, I want to say, that we ever had. And so I did a little bit of journaling, but not enough, because this was just the most insane Christmas ever. I did a little bit because we were renovating the house that year, and the roof was leaking, and my mother was staying with us, and we had 2 kids under 2 years old, and I don't know, it was just the craziest thing ever. We were just it was very... It was very good and very stressful. And I read about, we have this one client at the office who shows up with Christmas presents every year. And I think that was the year that we were watching The Sopranos. And he showed up you know, 10:30 on a Sunday night, and I was like, oh, call the cops. So I wrote about him. It's just funny. I wish I wrote down more of those old stories. I'll have to go through this book with my husband and kind of like see what we talk about, and then I'll be able to fill in some of those gaps here. So here's 2005, and so we're out of that baby stage, and now we're into the little kid and toddler stage, and it looks like I am writing more, but not all of it. I'm not using all of my, it's okay, at least I've got something down. Here's 2006, no photos, or a couple of photos. So this book needs some work, but at least there's a structure there, and I have been working on this for several years now. So here's 2008, and so in one book you can really watch your family grow, and I think that if you keep up with it and write more than I did, but even without writing more than I did, it's still a pretty cool little book to look at, and it's not very large. You know, one of the complaints about the scrapbooks, especially the 12 by 12 albums, is that they're so big and they take up so much space. But a book like this, so here's 2011, and that was the year that I really did a lot in the way of December Daily, so it looks like I also spent some time with this book. So there's last year, 2012. Not a thing. I did nothing. I'm not sure why, but here we are. This will be 2013. So I'm going to leave this. I'm going to go put this out on the table downstairs. And so this will be, let me just see where this will end. 2016. So this book will take me through 2017. So this is something that I want to spend some time with and spend some time updating. But I really think if you don't want to tackle December Daily and you don't really enjoy Christmas scrapbooking, this is a great alternative to just put your pictures in words, and if you just jot a little bit down every year, even if you just jot one paragraph down every year and you don't even fill up all the pages, it's still a cool little book. And the operative word is little. It's tiny. Like it's the size of your pinky finger. And I think it's probably, I don't know, let's measure it. It is 7 by 11, I think. So it's a nice size little book. It's about the size of a piece of paper, I guess. Okay, so I am Katie Scott. I will be back with more ways to document December and Christmas. Thank you for watching.